What is going on, Gemini? It's Chris Anthony coming at you guys live and direct, and this is going to be your end of month wrap up for February. So it's going to be from February 21st to the 28th for you guys. Gemini, I just want to apologize for you guys that I'm only doing one reading for you, and it's this late in the month. But it's been a crazy month for me, like outrageously crazy shifts, resets, energy. It was wild. So I'm getting to you because I didn't want to neglect you guys, because I love my Geminis, right? So this is going to be a general reading. If it does resonate with you, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things to let me know that you're watching and it helps you in some type of way. If it doesn't resonate with you, then you can check me out on one of my previous readings for Gemini or one of my future readings that will be coming up next month. And Gemini, you'll be in the front of the line. Believe me. All right. Let's see how it looks. This is going to be your present energy right here, like we always do it. And then after that, we're going to jump into your futuristic energy over here in this column and find out what's happening for you going into the month of March. All right. At the top of your reading, Gemini, we do have the Devil card. So this being at the top of the card, or at the the top of your reading, the crowning of your reading, this could be what's kind of like on your mind right now. And the Devil card usually represents things that have a hold on us, right? Things that kind of like have us stuck a little bit, or something that we can't separate from, someone that we can't separate from. And I'm feeling that it's someone for you. I feel that with this person, you probably could have been stuck in a cycle for a while, because we have the Ten of Wands that is here clarifying the Devil card. So you could have been in a place where you were so attracted to this person's energy, like whoever it is that you were kind of like stuck on. And I kind of feel it, like I understand, because I'm thinking about somebody that I just see and I saw and I was so attracted to them. And it's kind of like this was somebody that you knew wasn't that good for you, but they were irresistible. Like you had to get your hands on them, you had to be around them, you had to talk to them. You just couldn't resist, right? And so both of you guys couldn't resist each other. It's a strong attraction here. It's very strong. It's like so strong that it could, like when you guys are together, you could make something together. Like you could build something together. You could do something so productive, because the bond that you have with this person is very, very strong. But instead, because of the Devil card, you guys fall into the lower nature and the opposite of, taking that connection up high and doing something great with it, and you fall down into your lower nature, which is what's represented here by the Devil card. It's kind of like Baphomet. He points up, he's half man, half beast, right? He points up and points down. So the Devil card kind of has the potential, a Devil connection has the potential for you to rise to heights with this person because of the strong, passionate connection, if it's filtered correctly, if it's channeled into something great. But most of the time with the Devil energy, because it's so strong, passionate, attractive, it doesn't get channeled into the right thing. It gets channeled into your wounds, your addictions, your trauma. And so a lot of times this card represents trauma bonding. When we bond with somebody and we have this deep attraction with them, we don't even know what it is or why we like them so much. It's just like they feel like a soulmate, but they're the type of soulmate that is kind of like not good for you. And they're also the type of soulmate that helps you clear a lot of karmic energy, because you will go through hell with them, right? And the devil will be right there watching the whole thing and getting a kick out of it, right? So that's what's been happening with you and this karmic partner in the past anyway, right? I feel like this is a past connection. This is something that you could be kind of clearing your space of right now, because you have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands represents a completion of that cycle. It represents something that you were in for a while. It kind of burdens you because you couldn't get away from this person. You loved them so much, or you just had like a karmic addiction, a soul tied to them, and you were trying to get away, but the further you tried to get away, the more you got closer to them. And they could have felt the same way because, look, you guys were shackled to each other. And you were shackled to each other through your wounds, your trauma wounds. So this was kind of like a trauma bond. And that's what your bond was about. You know, both of you guys were hurt in the same type of way in the past. Could have been in your childhood, could have been in past relationships. And you attracted each other through that bond, through that trauma, right? And so even though this was kind of like that devil connection, it offered you a lot of healing because it was karmic, and it offered you a chance to clear your karma, you know, maybe from past lives or just earlier on in life. That's what the Ten of Wands here represents, karmic clearing. But before you can clear it, you have to go through the mud, go through the fire, go through hell. And that's what I feel like you've been in for the longest, but now you're at a place where you're wanting to leave this connection. You're wanting to wrap it up and move on with your life, move on to something different that's kind of like different from this connection. Like, although you love this connection and it's passionate and it's like sexy and it's, you know, like, you know, it's dirty, it's all of that. Like, we like that. Like, we are human, right? Like, so it's a part of you that likes this connection and what this person has with you, what you have with them, even though maybe it's not the best thing. It's kind of like, you know, fast food sometimes. Like, you know, fast food is not, it's not good for you, but sometimes you just crave it. Like, you'll see a Big Mac or some fries, or I'm thinking about it and I don't like it. I hate fast food. But in the past, you know, I could have like saw like a value meal or something, or saw a commercial for some food that's not that healthy, and then even though I know it's not good for me, I still want it. That's kind of like how this person is for you, right? Or this situation. If it's not a person, then it's a situation you were in that's kind of like you couldn't get away from it. So for some of you guys, it could have just been like an addiction, right? Just something that you were addicted to and you knew it wasn't that good for you, but you could not help it. You needed to participate in it. It gave you pleasure or it made you feel high, or, you know, it offered some type of self-medication for you. So if it was a person, it definitely was that too. It was kind of like you guys were self-medicating each other. So instead of doing the work to heal your wounds, you guys would self-medicate each other's wounds. And that's what happens in a trauma bond. Okay, we learned something new today. So you want to move on, Gemini. You're looking out into the world with this Two of Wands, and you're thinking about doing something new. You're thinking about pursuing something totally different and just getting out of what you always knew, which is this like karmic cycle. You want to end it. And I feel like you're going to be victorious in this only because you got the Six of Wands. So that represents victory. That represents recognition. It represents you celebrating something. And I think you're celebrating the fact that you got up enough strength, you built up enough courage, or you built up enough inner fortitude to move on from this past connection or this past, you know, addiction. You know, and if you're still battling it right now, I think you're starting to feel like the whole transformation of like it falling off of you, especially with this full moon or this new moon. Was it a full moon? I think it was a full moon that hit us a couple of days ago. Like, bam, out of nowhere, new cycle, new energy, new drive, new everything. So you feel it. And I think you're celebrating the fact that you're like, oh, wow, I can release this now. Like, it's no need for me to hold on to this anymore. It's no need for me to be shackled anymore at the feet of this devil. Like, now I can move into what I had my eyes on, but I just couldn't get to. You know, now I can take this new journey and embark upon something new. This was also clarified by the Queen of Wands. She decided to the Queen of Cups. She decided to kind of like jump out while the Six of Wands was coming out. So I do think that at this moment you're kind of like taking on that Queen of Cups position when it has to do with this new journey that you're embarking on. And the Queen of Cups is emotional, but she's emotionally balanced. She's nurturing, and she kind of knows She is, let me think. I'm trying to put this in the right words. Because I feel like like, if you look at this queen and the way she kind of like has this stance and she's just cool, she's calm, she's collective, that's kind of like the position or the attitude that you're taking with moving on from this old connection. This stale, addictive way of being. It's kind of like you're okay with it. You're like, you know what? Like, I know who I am. Like, I'm cool with what's about to happen because I'm about to move on. I don't know if you're that cool with it, but I can't participate in it with you anymore. So, I think the Queen of Cups is here because, like I said, you probably still have feelings for this person if it's a person. Um, but the Queen of Cups is great at distributing her emotions, even though she has great nurturing skills and she is very caring for other people and she shows her love very good for other people. But when it's something that's not good for her, she's able to pull those emotions back and keep her balance, keep her great gift of nurturing other people to herself when the person is trying to pull you into a place that's not good for you, pull you down into lower vibrations. So I think you're at this moment choosing to vibrate higher, right? I'm thinking about the song with Andre 3000, Vibrate, Vibrate Higher. Like you're wanting to vibrate higher, right? So and the position and the stance you have is kind of like, I'm cool with this. Like, you can't suck me into this energy anymore. This low vibes, this sexual energy, this addictive energy, this trauma, karmic, bad for me type of realm anymore. Now I'm going to pull my emotions back. I care about you, but I don't care about you that much that I want to go into this whole world of low vibrations. Like, I want to vibrate higher and keep my emotions in a place where I'm balanced, because the Queen of Cups is very balanced internally because she has learned the lesson to pull back her emotions from the people that mean her no good and to give her emotions to the people that will reciprocate those emotions back to her the right type of way, not reciprocate it back in some type of like devilish, low vibration energy. Like, what is that? Come on. We are all growing up and maturing on the spiritual path. It's no need to operate in that energy anymore. Like, especially when you have like awakened to the place that you are at, Gemini. Like, I see some of you guys out there, like, a little bit too much, right? To just participate in these type of low vibration energies. Like, it just doesn't serve you. I don't know. It doesn't serve you. That's all I can say. It's like, what's the point? And that's what I feel that you're looking at. It's like, what's the point? Like, why would I even want to participate in this connection anymore? Like, it's not serving me. I would like to embark on something new and try out some new energies that's not so low vibe, right? So yeah, you're moving away from it. You have the Ten of Wands again. It's been a long time coming, right? It's been a burden for you. You've been carrying this around and you haven't been able to get away from it. But now you're coming to a place where you're wanting to drop all of those wands, all those weights. You want to move away from it. Like, you're tired. It has wore you out. Like, you're wore out. You have the Seven of Pentacles here. Maybe at one point you thought it was going to turn into something else. Maybe you were looking at it like, I think this could work out. This could be something great. This could be a pretty good connection. Like, we get along. I really love them. Like, yeah. But now you're rethinking everything. You're just kind of like, okay, I don't know. Now, for some reason, you've been showed another side of it, a side that you have seen before. But it's kind of like, you're like, I've never saw it in this way, right? Like, I knew it already, but when it's shown to you in a certain type of way, and then it takes on this new perspective, it's like, oh, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it right there. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. Yeah, it's a wrap. We're going to wrap it up right there, buddy. Thank you for your service. Thank you for this karmic lesson. Yeah. And so that's what I feel like you're at right now, Gemini. I think this is kind of like clear cut. Let's keep it moving. Now you come down here and we have this Two of Cups energy, which is kind of different because it's a contrast and it's at the opposite end of the Devil card, which is the same two people. I don't think it's the same two people, but I'm just saying, like, you have two people up here and it's some type of devilish, addictive, trauma bonding connection. And then you have two people down here and it's kind of like the total opposite. It's night and day. It's like two people that are in a clear, honest, pure connection, right? Like I see purity down here. So maybe, Gemini, you're thinking about starting something new with somebody that you have a connection with that's not so addictive feeling. Like it's not just that sexual addictive energy, like low vibrational sexual stuff. Like, I don't know. Like maybe you want to start a new leaf. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like sexual escapades and stuff like that. Like, you know, they're fun. But if they're, it's all about the energy of it, right? So I think for some of you guys anyway, you were in a connection that was like that with somebody, but the energy was just wrong. Like it was just like self-medication for something deeper that was like a wound. And now you're coming to a place where you want to heal that wound. And you could be at the end of February or going into March meeting somebody new that kind of represents something different for you. They want to give you a connection that could be a more clean, high vibrational connection instead of this low vibration, lower self energy. It's somebody that could be wanting to connect with you on that higher self connection, right? Spiritual, you know, like well balanced, reciprocation. It's not a trauma bond, right? It's the opposite of a trauma bond. It's kind of like you guys could be attracting each other from the healing that you both have done. Right now, it is a possibility for some of you guys that you're wanting to, or this connection is transforming into this type of connection. But to be honest, I don't see any transformational cards. I see cards that represent endings, right? So I think this is a new connection right here, but it is a general reading. So for some of you guys, it could be a transformation of that old energy with this same person, but it transforming into a better, clearer, cleaner energy. And you guys just want to operate on more higher levels energetically instead of those low vibes, right? But you have the Strength card that's right by the Two of Cups. So major arcana, you know, and to me, this is kind of like, if this is a new person, you have to kind of reach into your inner strength in order to deal with this new person, because this connection is so new to you and is so far from the old connection that you were in. It's the total opposite. And you're like, you could be struggling. Like, sorry for laughing, Gemini. I'm sorry. But it's like, it's a good kind of struggle, right? It's like, all right, let me just paint the picture for you, you know? It's kind of like somebody who was in an abusive, like, relationship before, and they had stayed in it for a long time, and they just got used to it, and they got used to these abusive arguments. They got used to just toxic behavior and the toxic back and forth and just addictive behavior and just narcissistic and all of this stuff. But then they chose to leave it, and then along comes this other person that's the total opposite. Like, they want to treat you the right way. They don't want to have toxic communication. They don't want to be abusive with the way that they talk to you. They, you know, want to treat you like a human being, but you're not used to being treated like a human being. Now, I'm doing this symbolically, right? You know, I'm telling a story, so I'm not laughing at you guys, right? I'm just painting a picture, right? So it doesn't have to be that extreme, is what I'm saying. But for some of you guys, it could be. But I'm just saying that's how it is. The total opposite, like a relationship that was totally toxic before, and then you run into this new connection, and it's kind of like, yeah, the other end of the spectrum. And it's kind of like a breath of fresh air, but the only thing is, like, you don't even know how to operate in a relationship like this or a connection like this, because you've been operating in a different type of connection that was like more of your lower nature. And now this connection is offered to you that's wanting you to tap into your higher nature and want to be a little bit more spiritual, and it's like calling you to come up higher and operate from a different point of awareness, a different point of perception, a different space. And it's kind of like you're needing some strength to do it. It's kind of like you're like, oh snap, like, can I actually do this? Like, can I be with somebody that's not toxic and not abusive and not, all that devil stuff up there? Well, the question is, yeah, you can. You definitely can, because you made the decision to leave that old connection. You made the decision to level up a little bit. And so you do want something new that's way more beneficial for you, that serves you, right? And so you can do it, but I think you're going to be having to tap into some of your inner strength to kind of like pull it off, at least for the beginning, because the Two of Cups is the beginning of a connection. So you're having to kind of like find your way in this new territory, in this land of the unknown, right? This connection that's totally opposite from the last one you were in. You're having to be like, wow, okay, let me find my footing. Like, where do I stand? Do I stand over here? How do I treat you when you treat me good? Like, am I supposed to like text you right back when you text me, or do I like wait some hours? Like, when you say something good about me, am I supposed to say something good back? Like, I'm wondering, because I'm not used to this. That's kind of like why I feel some of you guys are at. I hope this is matching somebody. Like, I don't know. That's just what I'm feeling. Let's keep it going. All right, Gemini. So then we have the Three of Pentacles, and it's clarified by the Ace of Swords. So this could represent some collaborations that could be coming forward to you, because the Three of Pentacles represents you collaborating with other people, a group of people. It could be at work, because the Pentacles have to do with like work, Could be a project that you're wanting to join up with somebody on, or join up with a group of people on and kind of accomplish together. It could be a new business you're wanting to start with a group of people. It could be a group of friends. If that's not it then it could just represent you kind of being elevated among your peers a little bit in the workplace, and you kind of getting some recognition in the workplace of people saying like, wow, like, you actually know what you're doing, right? So this could be what's happening on the other side of your world, right? Is something that's in the realm of finance or commerce or work, where you're kind of being successful a little bit in it. And it could be due to a change in perspective, because the Ace of Swords here represents kind of like an evolution of the mind. It represents a total paradigm shift and a change in the way you view what you do. So if that is what's happening in your workplace, and it's definitely what's happening in your personal relationships and romantic connections, you have this new way of being, and it's causing you to see some success in your workplace, or whatever it is that you're doing financially is causing you to see some success, because you're changing up the way you're viewing your reality, right? You're changing up the way you use your assets and the way you position your personality. That's what I'm feeling for some of you guys. It's kind of like you see something that maybe you didn't see before, and you're kind of like, well, you know what? I can do this. Like, I can charm the socks off of somebody. Like, how about I just start using that? Like, I can connect with anybody. How about I just use that to my advantage? And then the list goes on and on. But you're seeing, I think for some of you guys, you're seeing some of the gifts and talents that you have that have always been there, but you haven't been as conscious to them as you are now. And it's kind of like this awakening that's happening around your gifts. And these are talking about your around your emotional intelligence, like your social skills, your interpersonal skills. That's just what I'm picking up. You're feeling like you have all these things to use at your disposal now, and because you have leveled up, Gemini. And so now it's kind of like you're like, okay, well, what do I do with all this? Like, let's just try something. Let's experiment. So I see you kind of like using all these new gifts that you have, like, oh, I could do this. And it's stuff that you knew, like I said, you could do already, but you're so conscious of it now, and you have a greater ability to wield this sword, wield these gifts that have to do with your personality, you know? And so you look like a pro out there, whatever you're doing when it comes down to finances or at your job or, in places where you can kind of like show these skills off, you're doing it. And people are looking at you like, what in the world is going on with Gemini? Like, I didn't know you could do all that. Or if they're not saying that, they're just looking at you like, what has gotten into you? Like, you have an extra pep in your step. Like, you're maneuvering a different type of way. All right? So, yeah, that could be happening. Now, this could also be due to the fact that you are shedding off a lot of these lower vibrations, a lot of emotional baggage from the past. You're ending a karmic cycle where you had to clear a lot of karma that was like stuck inside of your DNA. Oh, now we're getting deep. Okay, I love this. I love when I get deep, Gemini. So you're wrapping up a cycle that you've been in for a while where you kind of felt like you knew you were in this cycle and you were just like, I will be glad when this ends for me, because you had maybe all these like different hangups and emotional baggage and anxieties and fears that you were dealing with, right? And it was for a reason. It was kind of like you had to go through this whole metamorphosis because you were leveling up, but before you could level up, it was kind of like you were in this karmic prison. That's what that Ten of Wands represents. And so even if this is not a person for you, this is for the people that kind of like to go a little bit deeper with it past that romantic, All right, say less. So you were kind of like, you're moving out of this space of like karmic prison that you were in. It could have been a whole 10-year period where you just weren't able to like use your power in the way that you have the power to use, right? Like, you knew all along that you had this sword that you can wield, and at certain times during this period where you were stuck in karmic prison, you would bring the sword out and use it a little bit, just so the universe could let you know, like, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, of course you have a sword to use, but you're in karmic prison right now. And I don't even know. I'm trying to explain it for you, because sometimes we just go through paying off karmic debts and we don't even know why we're paying off this karmic debt. It could have been from a past lifetime, like I said earlier, and you just had to pay it off, and you don't even know why you're here. But when that happens, when that karmic debt happens, and when you're inside of that karmic prison, you can't fly the way that you could fly, because oh gosh, it's like a lock that's on your brain, a lock that's on your DNA until you complete this karmic cycle. And so it's kind of like, you could be great, but you weren't able to be great because you had to finish this cycle out, right? But guess what, Gemini? I think you're finished. That's what the cards are telling me. Like, you have wrapped it up. You're coming up from that emotional baggage. You can let the weight off now, and now you're free as a bird. Now you're ready to fly, and you have all of these skills that you knew that you had, all this confidence, all of this swagger, Come on. All this beauty, all of this like inner wealth that you knew was always there, but now it's kind of like the universe is like, okay, now you can use it. Why? Because maybe at this point in your life you won't abuse it. Because guess what, Gemini? You're a pretty powerful person. And with the gifts you have, if you would have misused them, you could have really. If you were able to use them at a level in your life when you were immature, oh my God, you would have ruined some lives. Like, that's all I'm saying. You would have ruined some lives because you have spiritual gifts. Like, it goes beyond just these personality gifts that I was talking about, this emotional intelligence. You only have this emotional intelligence because of who you are spiritually. And so if you were able to operate in these strong spiritual gifts at a time where you were not, trained in them, at a time where you were kind of like more in your lower nature and kind of like immature and didn't understand life as much as you do now, you would have like misused and abused them. Now, usually when we get into this karmic prison is because we had a time in our past or in our past life where we misused all of these gifts that we had. So then you come into this new life and it's like the universe is like, okay, you got to sit in prison. Because your last life, you was doing something all wrong. Like, you were probably a powerful person and you just abuse your power. Now, I'm not saying that's for everybody. That's one example of why you go to karmic prison. You know, I don't even know why I went that deep. We're 31 minutes in, and it was 31:31, so I think I can move on now. Um, yeah, so you have this sword now that you can wield, and you're free to wield it now, and you're responsible enough to not cut people, right? You're going to use it for good because you've been at the bottom of the bottom, Gemini, and you know how it feels to be at the bottom. So on your ascension, on your rise to the top, you're not going to look down on people. You see how you're higher than those other two people? You're standing up on that and they're looking up at you, but you're not looking down at them, right? This person is talking to them like they're on their same level. Even though you're clearly a step above these other people, you're still wanting to collaborate with them, right? Right, Gemini? So you're becoming like a leader and a responsible one, and you don't even know it yet. Well, some of you guys do. Let's go. We're in your future energy now, and I'm going to have to kind of blow through this, Gemini, because I didn't think I was going to last this long on your present energy. So let's do it. You have the Eight of Swords, you have the Nine of Wands, you have the Ten of Pentacles, and then you have the Page of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. They just popped out together. So starting off, going into the end of February, maybe the beginning of March, you could be kind of stuck in your mind a little bit about a new beginning that you want to start financially. Now, this could be like a new business that you're wanting to embark upon, a new idea that you have that you want to do, kind of like show to the world. This could be a new job that you want to, take and leave the old job, and it's kind of like, this could also be an offer that's coming from somebody who is a young earth sign, right? Possibly. Because we were talking about love before I got into that deep tangent of karmic. Yeah, I'm not even gonna, let's keep it moving. And then right under that, you have the Nine of Wands, right? So you could kind of be on guard a little bit when it comes down to love. Because you got the Two of Cups again. Gemini, so yeah, somebody is coming in and somebody wants to love you. Somebody wants to be in this relationship with you that, is a little bit totally opposite from the old relationship. Going back to you people who are dealing with love. But you have kind of like sort of a defensive stance to it a little bit, only because you've been through so much in your past relationship, that past karmic cycle. And, you're not all the way recognizing it to be something that's part of the new cycle that you're coming into after you're leaving the old one. So you're kind of looking at it like, you're looking at this person like, okay, like let me check you out a little bit. It's not the Seven of Wands, so you're not like totally defensive, but you're on guard a little bit because you know you've been through some bullshit. BS for you guys that like to keep it PG. All right, so yeah, you're just kind of looking at this person like I said, you know, back in your present energy, you have to tap into some inner strength because you don't know if you want to accept this type of love or even if you can operate in this type of love. But you can, it's just you have to get used to it, right? Right below that, we had the 10 of cups. I mean, what am I talking about? The 10 of Pentacles and then the King of Cups, clarifying it. So, yeah, I think you guys are thinking about emotional happiness and along with financial security. So this new person that could be coming in, you know, wants to offer you, you know, his cup or her cup and wants to kind of like bring you the full package. I think they could be seeing you like the full package, like they want to have this type of 10 of Pentacles relationship where it's the family, it's the kids, it's the dogs, grandma and grandpa's even there, and then the house is there in the background, and like whoever could be coming in on that tip, right? And it could be a water sign, definitely. Coming in trying to sweep you off of your feet. It's possible. Some of you guys are thinking about finances though at the same time, so that could be something in the back of your mind. Let's keep it moving. We're almost done, Gemini. Page of Pentacles right here. And then you have the 8 of Pentacles. So yeah, like I was saying up top, you're thinking about something new that you want to kind of like do, or a new way of making money or making more money, a new avenue. And you're hard at work working on that, which is probably why, you know, you're looking at this new person coming in wanting to offer you love, and you're like, okay, I do see you. I see you. Like, but I just came out of a relationship and I do want to work on myself a little bit, and I do want to be focused on my finances, and I do want to get my stuff together before I just open myself up like that again. Yeah. So yeah, they leave you in the hangman when it comes down to maybe that connection, because you're hard at work. So I think with the person that could be coming in, you're kind of like putting them on hold a little bit, just having them hang there. Only because it's kind of like you're practicing self-love right now. Like you're investing into yourself and you see their offer. You know, you see this person behind you like trying to offer you something, but you're kind of like hard at work. Like you hear them in the background, but you're like, oh, okay, that's what's up. Like, but I'm working. Like I'm busy right now. I'm kind of busy. And so they're just kind of like hanging there like, oh man, like, but I like you. And you're like, okay, I understand you like me, but I'm just kind of busy right now. I don't know. Catch me in the second quarter of the year. Catch me maybe in the third quarter. Gemini, I love you guys. I'm going to end it right there. Hopefully this was a good reading for you guys. Hopefully this was me making it up to not doing a reading for you the whole month of February, but at least I gave you a wrap up, right, Gemini? If you like that reading, you can like, share, subscribe, comment, let me know about it. I like all of your comments. I appreciate your support, Gemini. You guys come out strong every time. And I'll see you guys next time. Follow me on IG, chrisanthony14lbs. Chris Anthony 14 pounds. It'll be in the description. If you do want a personal reading, you can email me about that. If you want a little bit more clarity or direct experience with me, I'll hook you up with that. That'll also be in the description. I'll see you guys in March.